race at the top of the table over in the Championship as Leeds United still lead supreme over in the second bloody tier, who of course will be top of the pops heading into this round of matches. We're going to get into that and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video today. It's all about match number 39, that's right, over in the Championship, and we'll get to it in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe and you want to stop shop for Championship, Blackburn Rovers, World Football. We're going to all here under one rooski. That's right, 2 points separates first from third. And don't even get me started on the race for the bloody playoffs. It's all going crazy out in the Championship. We'll get into all that and much more in a second. Big shout out to the members, big shout out to the patrons. You know who you are. So what we're going to do now is revisit the last round of games, look at a Superbru. Oh, yes, we are. And of course, look forward to this weekend's drama. Sit tight, hold on. We're right to head into it. Here it is. Of course, it is the Championship. And these were the last round of games. Of course, my predictions on the left, the real deal on the right. So, kicking it all off, Bristol City, look, the real part, just outside the playoffs currently, on goal difference. They picked up a 2-1 win over Norwich City. I went with a 1-1 draw. Millwall did beat Stoke in the Gary Rowett derby, 1-0 winners there. The 2-1 win. QPR get a massive 2-2 draw against Leeds, who's just bottling it right now, aren't they? 2-2 in the end. I went with the 2-1 away win. Meanwhile, Cardiff beat Rovers at Ewood. What an absolute shit show it's been at Ewood Park of late. Meanwhile, Coventry with a 3-0 over Sunderland. They look a real deal as well. Coventry, can they even challenge for top 4? Coventry right now, they're cooking with gas. Luton Town picked up another point in the bag, 0-0 against Borough. I went with the draw. Oxford with a massive 1-0 win over Watford. I went with the 2-1 win as well. Derby, massive win on the road, 3-2 winners. I went with the draw. The Novice, that's Preston, still in the FA Cup. That's right, 2-1 winners over Pompey. I went with a 2-0 win. Burnley did beat Swansea 2-0. I got that one spot on. The Baggies with a cheeky 1-1 draw against Hull City. And it all ended up at the red side of the Sheffield derby. Sheffield United coming out top with a 1-0 win. That's, of course, the tail of the tape there. What about the situation in the table? Well, it looks a little bit like this, guys. Here it is. It is Leeds. It is Sheffield United. Level on points. That is 80. Of course, remember, Sheffield United were 2 points deducted, so realistically, they should be outright leaders. Burnley, of course, in third place right now. Within a win for them, they could go top bins. That's right. Going down, it is Plymouth, it is Luton, it is Derby. But it is anyone's guess all the way up to possibly Portsmouth right now in that relegation discussion. So who bloody knows? As for the rest of the playoffs, Rovers need to get their fucking act together. Otherwise, we already know it's over because we are Blackburn bloody Rovers. So what we're going to do now, though, is, of course, look at this, which is the Superbru. This is your reminder to join and keep on predicting. But it's something that I've not been doing. I've actually given up hope on the prediction league. I missed a couple of weekends myself because it's just been absolute bedlam. But this was the last round of games. As you can see, TAB kicking ass and taking names, 19.5. Kovlad, and then the Rampage. Look at me. It's absolute shambles by me. I didn't get my own fucking predictions in. What a breast implant I am. Nothing. I got nothing. A lot of people the same. It is, of course, a dedication to the cause. Respect to those guys that are doing it. If you do see your name in there, please smash that like, smash your subscribe. The leaderboard, though, it looks a little bit like this. As you can see, Dream Marley running away with it, 399. He's about to break 400. Pennywise down to number one to number 2. And then Bruise on first. I like a cool name that. He's come out of nowhere, Bruise on first. Newton Abbey, Vindaloo Victory, all in the Power 5. I've all the way down to 22nd or something. I've taken my eye off the ball. Pretty shitty, none the same. So that's, of course, the Super Brewski. Of course, keep on predicting, keep on doing your thing there, brother. Of course, these are the next round of games, and they're coming at you thick and fast, starting with this coming Friday. Of course, it is Sheffield United. It is Coventry. It is at Bramall Lane. What a game this is. Of course, Sheffield United kicking ass and taking names. Up against Coventry, also kicking ass and taking names. Wilders boys are second with 80 points right now. Just one defeat in the last 6. Up against Coventry, Frank Lampard, 5th at the table, 59 points for the season. Just one defeat in the last 6. They've won the other 5. Goodness gracious me. They played 36 times since 1993. 13 wins apiece and 10 draws. Goodness gracious. Last time around at Bramall Lane was a 3-1 win for Sheffield United back on Boxing Day 2022. Meanwhile, the reverse fixture at Coventry was a 2-2 draw at the Rico or the RCA, whatever you want to call it, back in November. Of course, the Blades on the back of that 1-0 derby victory over Sheffield Wednesday. Coventry with that ass-kicking victory over Sunderland, of course, who were also challenging for the top 2, but cutting away a little bit at the moment. The bookies on this one, they go with a Sheffield United on this one. I don't know. This was a tight one, but I am backing the Blades to get the 2-0 win victory against Coventry, who can be a little bit hit and miss sometimes, but they are kicking ass. And of course, if there's anyone who's going to stop them, it could be them. Let's go to Watford then, shall we, as they take on Plymouth over at Vicarage Road. Watford currently find themselves 10th right now. Tom Cleverley just 1 win in the last 4 up against Plymouth under Miran Musilic. Of course, just 1 win in the last 6. They're all the way down, rock bottom, 24th out of the table. That's right, just 33 points for the campaign against Watford, who have 52. Now, they played each other 15 times in 2004. We've got 5 wins, Watford, 4 wins, Plymouth. There's been 6 draws between the two sides. Last time they played at this very venue in the league, it was a 1-0 win for Watford way back in April 2010. Now, the reverse fixture was a 2-2 draw at Plymouth back in November 2024. Meanwhile, they also played in the EFL Cup this year in round 2. Back in August, it was a 2-0 win for Watford, who are unbeaten against Plymouth over the last 6, picking up 3 wins and 3 draws. Watford, though, did lose to Oxford most recently. Plymouth losing at home to Derby, goodness gracious. The bookies, though, they'll back Watford, the Hornets on this one. Go in there with the 1-0 win myself as the Hornets continue their outside shot for the playoffs. Meanwhile, Hull City up against Luton Town. Wow, spicy game at the MKM Stadium. Holland, Ruben Sellers, 19th for the table, 41 points for the season, just 1 defeat in the last 6 up against Luton and Matt Bloomfield, 33rd in the table, 55 points for the season, just 1 defeat in the last 4. They're starting to get a bit of form now, are Luton. And they played Hull through 13 times since 2004. We got 7 wins, Luton, 4 for Hull. There's been 2 draws between the two sides, including, when was the other draw? That was a long time ago. Well, not really long time. Back in May 2023. Meanwhile, the reverse fixture was a 1-0 win for Luton at Kenilworth Road back in November. The last time they played at the MKM, though, was a 2-0 win for Luton back in September 2022. Luton are unbeaten against Hull over the last 6, 5 wins and just that 1 draw. Hull on the back of a draw themselves, a 1-1 draw against the Baggies last time around. Luton also on the back of a draw at home to Middlesbrough. The odds for this one then, shall we? Hull are fancy for the victory here. Luton not so much. I think Luton have turned a page here, but I think Ruben Sellers is going under the radar here. I do like what he's doing. I do like him as a coach, and I think he'll get the better of him this round, which will put Luton right in the shitter heading into the next round of games. Sunderland, they're up in action. They're taking on Millwall, coming at you over at Stadium of Light. Sunderland with Reggie Debris in charge, just 1 defeat in the last 4 matches. Millwall, though, under Alex Neil, rocking a 50% form for them at the moment, winning 3 and losing 3 over the last 6. Now, they played 18 times since 1993, 5 wins Sunderland, 7 wins Millwall. There's been 6 draws between the two sides. The last time they played at the Stadium of Light, it was a 1-0 win for Millwall, goodness gracious me, way back in April 2024. The reverse fixture was a 1-1 draw as well. That was back at the Den, back in November this campaign. Millwall on the back of that one, a bit of a Stoke. Sunderland losing to Coventry most recently. The bookies odds right here, right now. We're looking at Sunderland. They are hot favourites for this one. They should win this one. And I'm going with a 2-0 win as well for the Reggie Debris boys. Let's go Cardiff, Sheffield Wednesday, Ding Dong Classic over in Wales. Cardiff on the back of that win over Rovers. Up against Sheffield Wednesday on the back of a defeat to the bit of rivals, that is the Blades. Coming at you, played 28 times since 2005. 11 wins Cardiff, 9 wins Wednesday. 8 draws between the two sides. Omar Ritz's boys have won 2 of the last 6. They're 21st with 39 points. Up against Sheffield Wednesday, who are 12th, 51 points, and they've won 2 as well at the last 6. Last time around, over at Cardiff, was a 2-1 win for the Welsh Wonders back in August 2023. The reverse fixture this campaign was a 1-1 draw back at Hillsborough. Cardiff with a 2-1 win. Again, Rovers, I keep on mentioning it. And again, Wednesday on the back of that defeat as well. The odds right here, right now. What are we looking at, Cardiff? Ooh, it is tight. Wednesday edging it with the bookies odds. I'm also giving it to Wednesday with a big important win on the road once again. Burnley against Bristol City. Goodness gracious me, coming at you at Turdmore. Burnley under Scott Parker, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They are 3rd in the table. 78 points for the season. Up against Bristol City, unbeaten in the last 6. They're on 75% form for them as well, winning 3 and drawing 3. Of course, with 57 points for the campaign. They have played Burnley 18 times since 1994. 10 wins Burnley, 3 wins Bristol City, 5 draws between the two sides. The last time they played at Turdmore, it was a 2-1 win for Burnley way back in September 2022. That was in the Championship. Burnley on the back of that 1-0 win over Bristol City at Thrashton Gate back in November. Burnley winning 6 on the spin against them. And they're coming into this on the back of that 2-0 win over Swansea. The Robins on the back of that 2-1 win at home to Norwich. The odds right here, right now, in the battle of the Bees. Or the battle of, well, we all know Burnley are a bunch of freakazoids. They're favoured, the hosts are favoured. They should win this game. I'm going with a cricket score, 3-0 winners in the end on this one. The Borough, though, they're taking on Oxford United. Over at the Riverside, Michael Carrick's boys are still cooking with gas. They're in 8th right now, 54 points for the season, just one defeat in the last 5. Up against Oxford under Gary Rowett, 1-1 lost, 1 drawn over the last 3, but most importantly, they're coming into this on the back of a victory. They take on the Borough. This will be the 8th time they have played since 1994. 5 wins Borough, nothing for Oxford, and there's been 2 draws between the 2 sides, including a draw last time around at the Riverside. That was a friendly, doesn't really count. Let's scrap that one out of there. The last time they played each other at the Riverside was a 3-2 win for Borough. Meanwhile, the last time they played this season, of course, at the Kazam, 6-2 thriller going in favour of the Borough. Meanwhile, Borough on the back of that 0-0 draw away to Luton. Oxford with that all-important 1-0 win over Watford. The odds for this one, Borough are fancied, hot to body trot on this one, going with a 2-1 win. Bit of fight there for Oxford, but nothing taken home in the end. Let's go Leeds United up against Swansea, coming at you over at Ellen Road. Leeds with Daniel Farke's boys, 1-1 lost, 1 drawn, 1 over the last 3. Just 1 win in the last 4. They are top of the pops though with 80 points. Up against Swansea, still with the caretaker, Alan Sheeran is the man. Back-to-back defeats. They're sitting in 16th right now, 44 points for the season. They played Leeds 11 times since 2007. 7 wins Leeds, 3 wins Swansea, and 1 draw between the 2 sides. Coming at you, last time around at Ellen Road was a 3-1 win for Leeds way back in November 2023. Meanwhile, this season in Wales, they had a 7-goal Bobby Dazzler going in favour of Leeds. 4-3 it was in the end. Leeds winning 4 in the spin against Swansea, and they've scored, what are we looking at, 11 goals in the last 3 against them. Leeds, though, on the back of that 2-2 draw against QPR. Swansea losing at home to Burnley, make it back-to-back games without a goal for them. They've only scored 1 goal in the last 4 matches, so not good stuff for Swansea at the moment. The odds, though, of course, going with Leeds, hot to bloody trot, going with a 3-0 win as well to add to that goal tally. Norwich against West Brom in a ding-dong classic over at Carrow Road. Norwich with Jonas Todd up in the helm. Just 1 win the last 6. What are we looking at here? We're at 4 games without a win, 13th for the table, 49 points for the season. Up against the Baggies under Tony Mowbray, 6th in the table, 57 points for the campaign. 4 draws on the last 6. They are unbeaten, though, in the last 6. And they played Norwich 39 times since 1995. 13 wins Norwich, 17 wins West Brom, 9 draws between the 2 sides. Last time around over at Norwich, it was a 2-0 win for the Canaries back in January 2024. The reverse fixture at the Hawthorns, 2-2 it was way back in November 2024. Norwich on the back of that 2-1 loss to Bristol City. Baggies on the back of successive draws against Burnley and then Hull, of course, but their home form is pretty good, only conceding 1 goal in the last 3, which was the last one. Meanwhile, the odds, very tight, but the Norwich are favoured. They got the goal scorers up top. I'm going with a 2-1 win, boosting Norwich, denting the Baggies' promotion hopes. And then it's the game of the day. It's Fratton Park, it's Portsmouth, it's Rovers. We'll have the watch along, and I'll be in the hot seat on my own. Of course, Portsmouth under John Mousinho, they won 3, lost 3 over the last 6. But they're coming into on back-to-back defeats, sitting 17th for the table, 42 points for the season. Up against Blackburn and Valérien Ismaël, who have lost winless in the last 5 and lost 3 on the bounce, sitting in 9th, 52 points for the season. They played 22 times since 1999. 4 wins Pompey, 14 wins Rovers. There's been 4 draws between the 2 sides. Last time around at Fratton Park, it was a 2-1 win for Rovers way back in February 2018. Rovers have got 3 on the spin against Pompey, unbeaten in the last 6. It looks like, winning 5 and drawing just the 1. Portsmouth, though, on the back of that 2-1 loss to Preston. Rovers losing at home to Cardiff. The odds right here, right now, look like Portsmouth are the favoured for the victory on this one, which, you know what, I don't blame him. I'm going with it, sitting on the fence here with a 1-1 draw, which continues our recent run of decent results against Pompey, but realistically doesn't do anything for us for the season and for Big Val Ismail. Meanwhile, Stoke taking on QPR at the Bet365. That's coming at you on Saturday as well, 29th of March. Stoke under Mark Robbins, just 1 win the last 6. Of course, 20 for the table, 39 points for the season. Up against QPR under Marti Kofientes, also just 1 win in the last 6. They're sitting 15th right now, 45 points for the season. Meanwhile, what are we looking at here? Played 31 times these 2 sides since 1996. 10 wins Stoke, 11 wins QPR. There's been 10 draws between the 2 sides, including the reverse fixture at Loftus Road back in November. 1-1 it was way back then. QPR, though, picking up a draw against Leeds most recently. Stoke losing to Millwall last time around. The odds, they go with Stoke. They are favoured for the victory on this one. I think I'm going there as well. 2-1 winners. Big points in the bag for Mark Robbins. And then finally, folks, coming at you on the 2nd of April, that's right. It's Derby, it's Preston, it's coming at you at Pride Park, that's right. John Eustace's boys up against Paul Heckenbottom in the dugout. Of course, Preston sitting in 14th right now, 47 points for the season, just 1 defeat in the last 5 up against Derby. And John Eustace, 22nd in the table, 38 points for the season. They won 3, on the bloody bounce. They played 36 times since 2002. We've got 15 wins Derby, 10 wins Preston, and 11 draws. Speaking of draws, the last time they played, it was at Deepdale. It was a 1-1 thriller way back in November 2024. However, the last time I played at Derby, it was a 1-win for Derby. That was back in 2022. Goodness gracious me. Derby on the back of that 3-2 win over Plymouth. Preston picking up a 2-1 win over Pompey. So my prediction for the game will be a cheeky 1-0 win for Derby because they're just kicking ass right now under John Eustace. And if I'm right, this is what the table will look like at the end of it. As you see, it is Leeds, it is Sheffield United, and it is Burnley, as you were at the top of the table. And of course, going down, it is Plymouth, it is Luton, and it's Cardiff. They're going to go down. The playoffs look pretty much as you were, but it all could change very much one more time again in the next round of games. Till then, subscribe, smash the like, catch you later. We are done for now.